This is 89.7 FM. Broadcasting live 24 hours a day. 89.7 FM.
That was Tory Lane saying love. Right now we joined by the SRC. Welcome, gentlemen. Holla at us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us. So basically we are here to just make clear our position with the whole protest and fees must fall as to where we stand as an SRC of Rhodes. So there has been protests around, and we as an SRC we are with the students, and but at the same time we encourage that whatever that is being done, it is not outside of the bounds of the law. So we are very clear on saying that we are going to be with the students on the ground, but it has to be a legal process. We cannot be engaging in a banning of whatever, or disruption of property, banning of buildings, or banning of tires, or barricading of that sort, or taking out students from their residences or lecture venues. So we will not engage in that, but we will express our dissatisfaction to the government in through protest action. By that we are going to be having a march to the municipality tomorrow. That's the 23rd of September. So we are going to hand out a petition to whoever is going to receive that petition tomorrow. We have encouraged students, academics, to join us, because we do realize that it is not just a student struggle. The same academics, the same teachers, the same parents who teaching us are also the ones paying the fees, and we are. It's not a fight for students, it's a fight for everyone. So we want this to be a community thing. We are going to go and address the municipality. So that is our position as an SRC in summary. And my colleagues here can.
Before we go on, please tell us your name.
Oh, okay. My name is Zweli Shachwa, a deputy president of the SRC.
Okay. Okay. As the next candidate follows, please introduce yourself and get on with it.
Gift Sandy, SRC president, outgoing. The VP, the vice president have said it all, but we must condemn illegal action on campus. As much as we'll be criticized and so on, but it must be clear, the SRC does not support illegal action conducted by students. And students should be aware that there's an interdict. And the police can come on campus at any given time because there's a court order. That means they have a jurisdiction to do or come to campus at any given time when there's dissatisfaction within the community of Rhodes University. It's important that we warn our students that they should be aware of such activities. Nonetheless, the SRC is for free quality education for the poor. And students must understand again that when we say free quality education for the poor doesn't necessarily mean the NSFAS only students. It speaks also to the missing middle. And we cannot speak as an SRC as to how the government is going to do this. We have questions also. How are they going to make sure that you form part of the missing middle or the poor? Because now, if let's say my parent earns 700,000 whilst the cap is 600,000, but yet you have 3 kids in university, what's going to happen in that case? So we still need answers. How are they going to make sure that if you are 600,000 and then how are you going to do this? So it's important that we understand that. On the other hand, we also trying to make this a regional issue, because it's not a Rhodes issue. It's a national issue. Now we're trying to engage with the other SRCs also from the province. What are you going to do tomorrow so that we can have a provincial demonstration? So Rhodes will find the municipal building. NMMU must locate a point and then also Forte, find a point. Also find a point, so that as a province, we're saying to the government, this is what we're saying. Whenever South decides to call a national shutdown, if they are going to call one in the near future, then we'll also join that one, because we've already started with the local and the region that we have, where in the Eastern Cape. So we for that free quality education for the poor, and it must be understood clearly. We are not neutral, we are clear. Free quality education for the poor. And the minister in our engagements has already answered most of our concerns, which speaks to the 8% increase that those can afford will pay it, missing middle, and the NSFAS students will be covered. That's what we called for initially, and he has summed up it. But still, free quality education. What are you saying?
But I have a question on that. We are looking for, like as you said now, free quality education, and the people in power are asking, where are we going to get this money? Do we have any ideas as to where we're going to get this money?
Okay, so that speaks to the report, 2013 report by Ramaphosa and the one in 2010 by Derek. So in that report, they directed the government where to get this money. The money will have to come from the private sector. The private sector has not been as supportive as they're supposed to be when it comes to higher education. So there is a report that says free education is feasible. Now what we are saying is that the government shouldn't be looking whether free education is feasible, because there's already 2 reports that are saying that free education is feasible. We are saying that show us the process, how you are going to implement those documents. So that is what we are calling for as an SRC of Rhodes. And we are not saying free education just because it sounds nice. We have done the research. We know that it's something that is feasible. They need to implement those documents. And the president has captured me by what the minister has said. We do acknowledge that he has said, but that is only a plaster on the wound. It's not something we can happily accept. What the minister has said. We want a commitment to free quality higher education for the poor. So that is our stance as the SRC.
Of course.
And in addition, it's not like we're saying tomorrow we want this free quality education of the poor. We know it's a process. We understand that the government is trying to meet us out. It's trying to come up with ways. This is a temporary situation. The same thing they did this year, they're doing it next year again. The 8% interest is the same thing that they did this year. Now, we understand that. But also at the same time, we must see where are we going, how long is it going to take. Is it my daughter who's going to get this free quality education, or is it the next matriculants? So we need to get also timelines as to how is this going to be achieved. And we totally understand it's not tomorrow, it's not next week, but it's a process.
Okay.
I'm Kholihlatla Mabaso, President-elect for 2017. I think the biggest issue is that the minister, his statement was carefully drafted, right? I think the biggest issue is that he didn't necessarily, he didn't critically address the free education call. And I think this is why students across the country are upset, right? Because as my colleague said here, there are reports done. Why is the president setting up a commission to draft another report that we're not going to use? So that's just part of the anger that's being caused on campus. And I just want to say, I want to comment on the commitments that we made today to the students. I just want to emphasize the fact that we are committed to increasing our presence, right? So we'll accept that the students are always questioning, where are we? We are sorting it out now, right? We are committing to be part and to be visible when the students caucus, right? Yeah. We are also committing to supporting legal action, right? So we will meet at the cave, we will meet at Trustee Lawns, we will be part, and we would like to take part in any discussions that the student body is saying, because we are saying that we're part of you guys as well. We understand what you're saying. So I just want to make it clear that we are in full support of our student body, just in the legal bounds of it.
I have I have 2 questions, in fact. What is the objective of the demonstration tomorrow? Are we fighting for fees to decrease or free education?
The objective for tomorrow is to number one, to make it very clear that we are saying we want free education because we know it's possible, right? Number two, it's to add on to the national call. I mean, the other universities are experiencing a lot of turmoil in the institutions because they are also saying that, guys, we feel that the minister has not addressed this issue, right? And therefore, we want to make it, perhaps he doesn't understand what we are saying. Let us make it more clear, and that's precisely why other institutions are shutting down, right? And we are saying that the purpose for tomorrow is to add on to the national call for free education. We want to say that Rhodes is saying that we need it. We are part of this. We want free education because we know it is possible. We're not just wanting it because we think it's possible.
And here's another one. Do you feel that the government has shifted the blame through Minister Nzimande's statement earlier this week?
You want to take it? Okay. Certainly. Look, and I'm going back to his statements, right? There are many questions internally as well, as they are externally. But just speaking on what the minister did, he basically, we know that because last year, right, he said that I'll sort out the increase, right, and he said to President, to us, like he said, I can solve the problem, right? So now we're coming into this year knowing that the minister can do something, right? But now he's realizing that it can't happen as soon as these students want it, right? And now what he's done is that he's shifted all the blame to management, so we can perhaps forget that he's the same man that can implement the changes that the students want. So certainly I do think he shifted the buck onto management, and unfairly so. And this is why we're saying as the SRC that the management, right, in fact management of all institutions, they should join the SRCs and the student body, because we know that management cannot give us free education. Now we are saying to you, join us or don't stop us from expressing the fact that we want free education, right? So yeah, we certainly do think the minister has shifted the buck unfairly so.
Yeah, just to add on that, he not only has he divided the management or the university community, he has also divided the students. So you had students who thought after the announcement of what the minister said, everything should be fine because the poor and the missing middle are not going to pay the fee increment. But that's not what we've been calling for. We've been calling for free education. So a lot of students think, man, we should be fine. And a lot of students are like, no, this is not what we're calling for. So there's a lot of misunderstanding. So he's working on that, and we are communicating to students that this is our position as SRC. We are saying that let us all join in the call for free quality higher education for the poor.
Okay, I'm just Graham Maruta, SRC International Affairs Council-elect. Just to add on to the fact that there's a whole lot of grey areas in terms of clarity. And I think one of the biggest questions that's being asked right now is, where do international students fit into all this? The statement which the minister issued didn't directly touch on this, but a question that was then offered to him afterwards brought clarity to the issue of international students. Now, one of the greatest misconceptions about international students is that they're rich. Okay, it's automatically assumed that they're rich, and when they often deal with fees issues, that's how they looked at. But I guess one positive step that's been taken from this whole thing is that students who are from the SADC region, as well as South Sudan and Rwanda, are now going to be treated in the same way as local students, in the sense that, for example, this benchmark of 600,000 rand has been given. If you're an international student and your family income actually falls below that 600,000 rand, you don't have to pay that increment. So I mean, this is, I guess, one of the positives on the side of the international students, and this is how they begin to get involved. But also secondly, I mean, generally international students are a little reserved when it comes to demonstrations and marching, because they don't actually know what they can do and what they can't do. And I think this is one thing that we definitely considered when we were organizing the demonstration tomorrow, that it's within the legal confines, therefore it's perfectly safe. And I just also want to take this opportunity to tell international students that they are, if they should be part of this movement. They should be part of the demonstration tomorrow, because this is perfectly legal, it's safe, and there won't be any harm done to any of them.
Okay. I lost this question, but anything to add, gentlemen?
Sorry, I must say also to the student body, this is not the time to fight with the SRC.
Yeah.
It's time that we work together. We understand other student groups or formations have problems with SRC. Some people have problems personally with the person being president or whatever position there is. It's not about that time now. It's not about to call out the SRC. It's not about time being a popularist, but it's about making sure we get where we're going.
I see.
We must unite as a student body, and the SRC is always open to work with any student formation organization without delegitimizing any movement there is, but we're open to work together. If people have ideas, they must come to us, because we are 11-man council and we don't have all the brains in the world they can be, but people out there have the best brains. So we always welcome students to come through and give us ideas.
Okay. Here's the question. Some are of the mind that the issue here should not be about fees going down, but because institutions have expenses, the cost of living is high at the moment, and inflation is not going to stop. Should we rather not be focusing on the issues? Okay. I'll get back to the question in a moment. So.
Yeah. So I'll just add on to what my president said here, that even though the fight is not like we shouldn't direct the fight to the SRC, right? We are saying, we want this to be very clear, we are committing ourselves to being part of the student body. We are part of you guys, and we support the protests within confines of the law.
Okay, and here's the question. Should we rather not be focusing on the issues of funding instead? Costs are going anywhere. Can we find ways to help students access funding for quality higher education?
I think for us to answer that, I think we would, if we are looking for that, then we'd be contradicting ourselves. We are talking about free education. When we are saying free education, costs and anything like that, it might not be something that we want to probably speak on, because we are calling for free education. The education needs to be free. If it's free, we're not gonna, because from the res visits, people were talking about cutting of costs, which were good initiatives, saying that, okay, how can we sacrifice this? Can we sacrifice this as students? And we got those views. Students are willing to sacrifice, but we are saying that we'll do that once we've lost it all after fighting for free education. We can only start engaging on cutting of costs and getting other funding from the local private sector, because we have been in communication with the local private sector, which that is your Pick n Pay and your businesses around. Guys, can you support us here with a problem? But before we even put our energy there, much of our energy, we need to put our energy into the free education, and that is what we are speaking about.
Okay, nothing else to add?
Nothing much. By the fact, free education, that is what we've been getting from students. What is your stance? SRC, we want free education, and we want free education.
We need it.
We need it. We need free education. And we're not just SRC. Before, SRC was students, and we are poor students. Next year, I don't even know where I'm going to get the money to come back here. But my parents will find something. They will get those loans and they will break whatever they need to break, but to bring me here. So we know the struggle, and that is what we want as SRC. We are not different from a student that is fighting down there. Just that as an SRC, we need to also think about the 8,000 students that are there, that we've got international students. We've been getting a lot of critique. Why do you want to be legal? Legal is as an international student. As international students, once they are found to be in contradiction of the law, they are deported immediately. We do not want that for our students here. So that is why we want to achieve the same thing, but making sure that everybody is with us after we've achieved it.
Thank you, gentlemen. We had an informative segment right here. This was the SRC, and I'm gonna sign out now. This was the Driveby, of course. And if you want to comment on what the gentleman from the SRC just said, you can phone if you will at 046-603-8847, or you can just send us a WhatsApp text at 061-064-4171, or alternatively RMR 897 on Twitter. And yeah, we out of here, man. Thanks to the SRC, man. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in and letting us know.
Thank you.
And best wishes tomorrow.
Thank you.
89.7 FM.